Ready, Mike? 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Mike out here with Steve Zolanardo for another episode of Real Estate on Record.
Okay, Steve. We were saying this off air, and Mike, brought up a couple of good points, and I think we really need to talk about this. The changing demographics and housing needs, how Gen Z is entering the housing market. First and foremost, guys, how the hell are they entering the housing market? Gen Z.
It's tough. Parental help for sure.
So they're saying housing preferences of millennials versus baby boomers is very predominant in the market now, and the rise of multi-generational living. So without parents, you're not buying anything. Do you guys believe that this is all facts?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of it. We're seeing stuff that has, even if it doesn't have a side entrance, but a separate living quarters downstairs where the kids could live in the basement. Because let's face it, they probably can't. A lot of kids probably can't just decide that at 30 they want to pick up and move. Even rents are crazy still. So the multi-generational living is they're having kids in their parents' basements and starting their families.
So we're not baby boomers. Obviously, that's our parents. We're millennials.
Yeah.
But as millennials, we have an obligation to our kids now. Like Mike said, we can no longer.
But that's Gen Alpha. Our kids are Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha?
Yeah.
I thought Gen Z was our kids.
After 2014 is Alpha.
My kids are 2013. So they're Gen X?
It could be right in the border. Check the year.
So what exactly does that mean? It means that parents like us, millennials, we now can no longer sell all our assets and just live the good life on our retirement years. We have to support our kids.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. Not because we want to, but because we have to.
Yeah.
So how are we going to combat this, guys? How are we going to combat this? How is Gen Z going to make it like the way we made it?
We're going to have to help our kids definitely purchase if we can. If we can't, they're going to fall in. Let's face it, we're going into a renter society, right? There'll be renters, and that'll be the end of it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah.
No. I think that's kind of where we're going with it, right? If you can't afford to buy your kid a house, they're gonna turn into a full-time renter.
I think look at the people, right? Like we're kind of looking at it like because we're self-employed and stuff like that, so we can kind of work an extra few more deals. So we could probably put more. But imagine someone that works a 9 to 5. Right. It's impossible for them to help out their kids. They can't help themselves out right
pennies.
now. A lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the people around that personally. It's just like, yeah, they're trying to get it together, but it's difficult. So there's not going to be nothing for the kids. This country's, and not only just country, a lot of countries, they're bleeding their citizens bare. So there's going to be nothing to pass on. And the only thing that's holding us now together, like having a proper retirement, is if our houses are worth money at the end. Like if that's basically built into our wealth, I'm in there too, right? Like everything's in real estate for me. So how about if that value of those houses just drop? Like if Toronto turns into like a big Montreal, which I always said it's going to become, because obviously during this current leadership, it's been pretty like. It's sad to watch the country get declined so aggressively, and we know that because how many people you talk to, everybody here talks to, and they're like, I want to get out of here. I don't feel safe anymore. It's danger and car thefts and burglaries, whatever, and there's all this bullshit and politics and what they're teaching our kids in school. Like let's not hide from the fact of all this shit. This is the first time I've ever heard. My parents never heard this. The kids went to school, they got home. And you had a plate of pasta.
You made it. What was that plate of pasta? For Italians, yeah.
Beautiful sauce, meatballs.
Delicious.
Back in the day, right? That's all they had to worry about.
It
was the sauce good? Did it have acid? That's what they worried about.
Yeah, it was the acido in the stomach.
Baby boomers had the best go of life. Honestly, God bless them. They had the best go. Our generation, we got a lot of calculations to figure out. It's one of the most complex time ever. If you don't think so, then you're really not paying attention to anything that's happening with the way politicians are passing bills, the way corporations are taking over things, like even just as buying single-family dwellings. Like Warren Buffett, he just said now, buying thousands of houses. He's just bet on them right now. What's that doing when someone like that's buying thousands of houses? That's taken away from your kids.
Yeah,
all our kids.
And he's not the only one. They're coming in droves. Buffett, Bezos, with Arrive.
What do you think their motive is behind it?
It's an asset class, right? They're putting money together. They're raising capital and buying
property.
It's a great investment. They know that they're a renter society. Look, even that presentation we went to yesterday.
Yeah.
The builder, they're so excited about rentals on furnaces and air conditioners and all this stuff, and we're pushing back like, no, we're still old school, these communities where it's like, no, they don't want to pay rent to anything. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, oh, this is great. You could just, it's managed, it's maintained, and blah, 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 blah. But you're also paying like 30-40% more for these items, which bleeds your savings in the end, right?
Yeah.
It's like leasing a car, renting a, whatever it is, anything you're financing, right?
And
Housing.
and eventually we're gonna get into that renter society, and there's not gonna be there's no equity in your house, right? So like we dealt with it recently, where we had a couple clients, like they got elderly, they needed to go into a home, $8,000 a month, like
$8,000?
$8,000 a month,
It's mental.
$8,000 a month. So they're basically
How can they afford something like this?
because they're
just
selling
leave
their
you.
house to take the money.
Oh.
Like once they sell the house, they're gonna pay for the
My
parents to be in the thing.
God.
But what happens when you don't have a house to sell? Now you're living in government assistance. It's gonna be an overloaded system because our system's clearly broken. Go to the hospital, okay? See it. Tell me how long you're there for.
Yeah, forever.
Exactly. So now, what kind of life are you gonna have? That's the scary part, and that's the scary part for my kids that I'm worried about.
But look at this. So even talking about, so now you get into these retirement homes, they bleed them 8,000 a month. You go, they live another, hopefully 10, 15 more years. You're talking like 80,000, almost 100 grand a year, let's call it $96,000 a year. You go through, in 10 years, you go through the whole $1 million in cash.
And
so that
equity.
money doesn't get passed on to the next generation. So they can pay down debt, buy real estate, invest. It's basically this.
Well, so hold on a
We're
second.
going to ground zero here,
I'm
buddy,
gonna
to a
ar-
0 point.
I'm going to argue this, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
It's not our kids' generation, but it's the generation after. And I'll tell you why. Because we are still going to, I hate to say it, but we're still going to profit on the baby boomer era. Because when our parents pass away,
But we
get
just said
that.
now, if you, so this is a baby boomer that's going into a home, and these are our people right now that this money's supposed to be inherited. If they're going to pay $100,000 a year to this home, in 10 years, $1 million's gone.
that's right. They can't give
So
them
now
money
this is not passed on to our generation, and we're not passing it on to the next. So it's
So if we
it's,
can't pass it on to the next, our kids are already in that rental
Yeah,
society, and
It's Europe, guys. This
Yeah.
is it. We're in Italy. This is Italy. You talk to anybody in Italy, like look at history. History is the best. So you can kind of see, you can predict the future based on other events that happen. And Italy's the same thing like that, where it's like we never really understand. We go there, oh, it's nice. Look at the Vatican and all these things. But it's like, oh, my cousin lives in the house with his parents. That's a 4-generational home. They never sold it. So they never built any wealth. That's just they need a roof over the head to live, or else they're gonna die. They're gonna go on the street. Survival. There's no wealth. You're not refinancing it to reinvest. You don't really take trips. You take day trips here and there and stuff like that. Oh, they go to the cortile, the courtyard, and they have a cafe.
the
Yeah.
quality of life has
But
been
if I could do a
shrunk.
coffee, I want to own the coffee shop. I don't want to go there for a coffee.
They
It's a
go there for
different-
the coffee.
Yeah, I want to own the coffee shop. I want to,
But some may argue that and say that's the simpler life, a lot more
But-
slower paced.
give them a choice to pick which one. Because the people,
That's all they know, though.
but give them a choice though. But they have no choice to come out of there. When the migrants left, when the immigrants left for Canada, or migrants rather, they migrated out of Italy into like U.S. and Canada. They obviously went for economic reasons. We say this, it's regurgitating the same information. So they're going for economic reasons. So like this is coming the exact same process as that. Because remember, like North America is a very young country. I've been saying this for 10 years, where it's like people always feel that their God-given right is to own a 2-story home, double car garage, white picket fence, green grass. Like that's their God-given right. Like how dare you take that away from you? That's not written in a bill, or it's not written in a declaration, the Bill of Rights in the U.S. or the Declaration of Independence. It's not. That can be taken away from you. And you get greedy corporations like Bezos, like greedy. They're corporate. They're trying to
But
make
they're not
money.
greedy.
profit.
Yeah, they're just trying to make a
They're
profit.
making money. They know how to make money. And they see a niche here, and a future of this is going to be a renter society. Clearly, there's a lot of analytics that we don't see based on these large companies. They're all reading the same
They
analytics.
have a lot of money, man. That's why they could do
but
it.
they're reading the analytics for the future, because if it was a bad investment, they wouldn't do it. So if you're seeing all these big billionaire, trillionaire companies like Blackstone, BlackRock buying into this, they know that this is the future. It's going to be a rental society. So this is why I'm even telling Mike and everybody, buy as much real estate as you can. Like I have a client now, he's a little worried, concerned about, he bought a place in Florida. It's 1 week in the market, it's not rented. Like, come on, man. Like, we got to slow down a bit. Like,
Well,
it's
same thing with me. It's been off the market for a month, but I'm not too concerned because I know, at least 6 months out of the year it's going to be rented.
Yeah, plus you're using it. Unless you want to rent it full time. It's always your question.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you can't go into that game thinking, oh man, 1 week it's not rented. That's
That's
terrible,
what I'm saying.
terrible
But
way.
what I'm telling him, you own a piece of real estate.
That's right.
You're able to close on what we call a DSCR loan, where it's like they don't look at your FICO score, which is your credit score. They don't look at your income. They don't even care who you are. They just need you to sign a piece of paper. They look at the investment itself. They give you a piece of property based on just the investment. Take it. Hold on to it. It's going to cost you a few bucks to have it vacant in a couple months. Don't worry about it. Get as much real estate as you can. Again, it's like always going back. Where do you buy for investment sake? Do you buy in the U.S.? Do you buy in Canada? I feel like Florida is going to be the best part for me right now. I'm not saying Canada you shouldn't do investment. I feel like there's going to be a lot more return in the States just based on everything right now. I think I don't know. Like,
And it's that's what works for you because you're there too, right?
yeah,
And some people don't have the comfort.
yeah, they
to go
don't
across
they don't.
borders. So
But then people
Canada
buy
still works.
people buy in Calgary and Alberta because it's based in the same country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
But there's a big difference between the U.S. and Canada. Let's just state the facts here that you can go on a life commitment with the bank at a certain interest rate.
30-year mortgages, yeah.
Yeah, 30-year, exactly. Where in Canada, 5 years and
Yeah,
you're
you gotta
switching.
refinance.
So that's why maybe there's so much flip, dash, dine, this and that. In the U.S., some people can stay in there forever and then hand it down, hand-me-downs, right? Over here, it's very difficult.
Well, they don't got to move, right? You have a good rate for 30 years. If the market is correcting like it is now, the rates are pretty high in the States, 8 points or whatever it is, 7 to 8% on a conventional loan. Like if you're locked in at a 3 or 4%, you don't sell.
So
You
then
just
the
sit tight.
younger generation of the United States, this U.S. Gen Zs,
So that's what I'm saying. You see different opportunities. So when I talk to the youth there, like the Zoomers, like Trent's going to be a Zoomer, right? Gen Z.
what's a Zoomer?
Gen Z.
Oh, he's Gen Z? Well, how old is he?
31.
That's Gen Z?
Is that Gen Z?
31?
I'm not sure the
Yeah, I
cut.
would
That's
imagine.
not millennial because millennials,
millennial.
80s,
88, I think, the last year.
88 is 89 is the last one.
Yeah.
So then right after that's Gen Z
92. 92,
or Gen X.
so
This is madness. All right, so he's part of that.
I would imagine it's
So
Gen
he
Z,
can't
right?
afford a house.
No, but he's starting to realize it's true. It's like if you know, but he's got his own mind prior to, or his own, you know, conclusion prior, but he kind of understands what I'm saying too. It's like, yeah, this is a great opportunity. If you can't do it here, you're not going to do it in many other places. So you have to fucking tie up your shoelaces
Of course.
and get her done.
But so
Get some
Steve,
people together, 4 or 5 people together, start buying. Who gives a shit?
so Steve, you have property that you're renting out. I have property I'm renting
Yeah.
out. Mike has property he's going to rent out. Are you renting out property?
Not at the moment.
But he's
I have,
gonna.
Yeah.
So we might not be Jeff Bezos' size, but we already see that buying property is the way to go.
Yeah, but we don't
What
have
about-
enough. We don't have enough.
But what about the people who can't even think about buying property because they can't even buy their own property to begin with? That's where I think the investment is going to die
Yeah,
because people don't have.
but it's the
investment.
country that's killing the crop before it's like ready to harvest. That's what I'm saying.
But the baby boomers created investment opportunities.
yeah,
The problem is us millennials cannot give investment opportunities.
No.
We
No,
can't
but
give
it's not that. It's the country. The country was when the baby boomers weren't brilliant. You know, it
They
was just
incentivized
it
them
was the
too.
climate they were in. It was the circumstances. It was everything was like fertile. You planted a seed anywhere, you made money. That's why they were so wealthy and they had things paid off quick because their money drove so much further. $100. What did you? I remember back in the 80s. You made 100 G's a year. You had a
Yep.
a BMW paid
Yep.
for it. You lived in the best area in
Yep.
Vaughan.
You
You,
were
had a
living
second.
real good.
You had a cottage.
Yep. You were
Up
living
north.
real good.
You had a cottage up north, probably a boat, and you vacation twice a year in Cancun.
100%.
And that's the 80s.
Yep.
Yeah, 100 grand.
100 grand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you need 1 million. 1 million won't even do that today.
No.
Yeah.
So we
So-
were talking. We're entrepreneurs here, okay? And if
Are
we need to make something a little, we want to buy something. We want to go on another trip. We want to go to a restaurant. We work a little harder, get another deal. You know, go more. But if you're on a 9 to 5, on a set income, I think that's where the
tough.
limitations are. Well, you're limited
Tough.
unless you get a second job, which you can't because where's the time for it?
It's tough, buddy. I
Uber.
don't know. I don't even
Sorry?
know.
Uber.
Listen,
There's a lot of it.
there's a lot of it. There's Uber Eats. There's Uber. There's
But it's
there's
so
dinner dash or
freaking
whatever it's called.
sad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Steve, but
So
this is
sad.
the
Like
way
a
it
lot-
is.
A lot of it's not to go forward. It's more survival again.
But again, it's also the ground is not as fertile as it used to be. And
No.
wait, and AI is taking off. Wait till AI really kicks in a notch. How many? Never mind. If you watched what's that? What's those cartoons there? God damn it!
The Jetsons.
No, not the Jetsons. The funny ones there. Not the Family Guy. The other guy. South
Simpsons?
Park.
South
South
Park.
Park. They did the new one there. I think it's called Pandaverse, something of that nature. But it basically showed the reverse, where white collar employees were now basically not the high income people anymore. Now it's basically because nobody knew how to do anything anymore. Like everyone was relied on everybody. Oh, I can't turn this screw, and they call somebody. And I was remember my landlord was like called somebody to drive a screw in the wall. So it's like, oh my god,
That's
it's a
how it is
Pandaverse.
now. That's how
But
it
so
is.
it's a good take on it because obviously it's a funny show, but it's very intellectual. But it's just if you look at it, all the people at Home Depot used to be waiting for jobs, people with hands like labor force. If it was a plumber, if it was like especially in America, they have like migrants and stuff. It would have been like Mexicans.
We
Let's
have that
face it.
here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So now it was reversed. So now it was like the lawyer's looking for someone to fix his the plumbing, and he's offering to give them service. I'll give you free lawyering for this. The psychiatrist, I'll give you, free lessons if you do the tiling. And then you saw like the laborers coming in driving Rolls Royces and shit like that, and it was this whole thing where now it was like
It flipped.
he flipped the switch. They became like the wealthy people and the whole thing. But it's like again, that's related to AI, where it's like jobs with arms is going to be the future.
Jobs with arms. Will be the
Jobs
future.
with arms, like physically doing things, because AI, don't kid yourself. A lot of the stuff, if it's real estate, if it's accounting, lawyering, editing, whatever it is, that shit's going to be brilliant. They can do videos. You can type in, I want to do this video, this scene, boom, it spits out this whole like scene. Again, it's not that personal touch. It's not the
So
but I mean,
the thing is, AI will not reduce jobs. I think it'll create jobs.
no,
because you'll
it'll
have to
swallow jobs.
And create
old
different
jobs and create different jobs.
Do you
Yeah,
know
but
how
I
many
don't think it's going to
times-
be the same
Okay,
input.
what
and
happened with the
output.
steam engine? The steam engine what?
Different thing.
Took away the labor, the physical labor.
From what?
So steam
From a
engines,
horse?
when steam engines were from horses. So now you didn't have to grow your own cattle farm or your horse farm or whatever that shit was. You just had to, buy one of these things.
This thing's on steroids, though.
Hey guys, I'm
different.
running late.
We're almost done. I'm gonna segue you in a few minutes.
Yeah.
but
Wait, the steam engine, yeah.
AI, I don't think it's
Yeah, but
gonna
that's-
crush
the
jobs. It's
steam
just gonna
engine-
increase it.
Steam engine took jobs away from donkeys and horses.
Right.
That's what it replaced,
But-
not
but-
people.
AI, we are now the donkeys that are getting replaced. So we're gonna have to think, how can we create?
Yeah, I don't see
a
any
newer-
more horses on the roads anymore.
Hold on a second.
I see them in equestrian
So are you
farms,
telling
and they're
me
usually rich
once
people.
AI comes, that's it, we're done?
It's gonna swallow jobs, buddy. It's
We're
already
good-
they
new jobs will
They
create.
predict this year here alone, 300 million jobs will be lost worldwide. 300 million.
So can I ask you something, Steve?
Fucking crazy.
Can I ask you something, Steve?
Tell me.
I used AI in my business, and
Okay.
I've probably gone 3x, 4x for sure. I've used it to my advantage. So it hasn't decreased or minimized my job. It's actually increased the volume in my work.
For what you're using it for, yes. But what I'm using it for, I'm replacing professionals a lot of the times.
Ooh.
I get answers. I need valid answers, and I test it
Quickly.
quickly.
Like
when I need
accountant answers.
accountant, law. I just did it here. What's it called? About what's the tax laws in the U.S. Yeah, I'd have to call an accountant. Billable hours. No, I don't need it. Bing, bing. It gets spit.
So we don't need an accountant anymore.
a lot. Hopefully, you'll need them to do the practice. But at some point, if AI gets to a point where you don't need it, where it's like an HR, what's that thing called? That's,
Human resource.
Nah, that stupid thing.
H&R Block.
H&R Block.
Oh.
H&R. Imagine this. H&R Block AI. You just submit your bills, whatever the hell you got in, and it's just gonna like it'll analyze everything and spit out your tax returns.
Yeah.
It'll get there, buddy. You don't think so?
I think
You're
so.
look at all the tech you have. You should
Okay.
be on board more than anybody.
And I am. That's why I'm
I-
the first advocate to say AI it will only create new jobs. And
Do you think it'll take out your editors though? Like at some point?
no, I'll tell you what, it'll help my editors with a better productive flow. It'll allow them
But
to
this is like the baby. What about when the adult comes?
he's right. Yeah, Mike's right.
But
this is
guys-
what do they call it? They call it as Atari. This is like basically a stick and ball.
so
wait till this is PS5.
but when AI comes, okay, and it's here already, and my editors start to use it, their work is going to get better. They're going to adapt to the AI system, and they're going to start producing better work.
But listen to this.
So it's going to be like a companion.
But look at this. Look at this. You have 4 editors, let's say now.
Correct.
You have 2 part-time
Correct.
and 2 full-time. Now your 2 full-time don't need the part-time anymore. Because what happens with that is that you're going to say, okay, so we want talking heads, as they call it. I'm learning all this stupid shit now. So talking heads, that stupid thing, bah, 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 you
Yeah.
talk, and it's got all the green script, and it's very choppy, and you're gonna get brain dead watching it too long. So you say, I want a talking head for this video. So I shoot it with my phone. Oh, real estate market's crashing. Blah, blah, blah. Then you throw this video and it's like, I want the talking head. And it basically just, so instead of like one of your full-time saying, okay, guys, you can do this because you're part-time doing it, you just run it through the system. 30 seconds, you got a talking head. Bang, post. That's eliminated your part-time people. The potential that could be a full-time
workforce.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to eliminate. You can't look at it. You got to look at it like, yes, so what I think is that you'll be more productive
With less
labor, less
people.
manpower.
So those people that now got the heave ho, okay,
What are they doing?
they will find something that AI will assist them to do.
What?
Steve, if I knew this, I'd be a millionaire.
They're already looking at universal basic income. This is not a coincidence. Universal basic income worldwide. They're talking about this because what do they say? Idle hands is a devil's workplace. So it's the same idea, but mine's even worse. You're giving them money to be idle. But that's what they're doing. It's it's not a good recipe, guys. Come on, government. But so look, so now they're going to pay you to survive. So how much money is the government, our government here, putting into affordable housing? 1.5 billion. Why don't you give that to like
all
building
over fund?
Yeah, but that's rental properties. That's not like people highlight those. People read the article and say, "Oh, that's great. It's affordable homes." No, those are rental properties. Affordable rentals.
But you're jumping the gun here. The AI.
But I'm just you look at all the taglines in the news. Being you kind of look at them. You can connect the dots.
Let me just say this. If you watch history's progression, candles was replaced with electricity. Electricity is going to be eventually replaced by solar energy. Who knows? Probably never, but it might.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Maybe. Who knows? Well, who knows?
If
I'm
it's
just
efficient,
I'm just saying they go from no lights to lights to firelight to electricity to something else is going to happen, and we will adapt.
Watch what you're doing there. Okay, go. You
and
keep
we will
going,
adapt.
I'm going to tell you the difference.
I don't know what else is.
So
we don't have Nikola Tesla
candles
here.
to light bulbs.
Yeah.
To what?
To
LED bulbs.
Wireless signals. God,
you went to LED bulbs.
Sure.
Like it's from candles to like what's the fucking the
incandescent.
Incandescent. Then they went.
No,
to
but now
LED.
you're talking about products. I'm talking about life changes.
Okay.
You go from no lighting to like making your own fire, to then all of a sudden you created wax. So now you have light, constant light. To then you create an electric current that now generates electrical pulses. Then you take that knowledge and you build the light bulb.
100%.
So it progressed, and now
Guys,
we didn't lose. Hold on, the candle guys didn't lose a job. They're still here. They're still making candles.
They're making light bulbs now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but
they got another job.
AI, but so that's what I'm trying to tell you. So AI is taking your job. It's the supercomputer that actually thinks a light bulb was never
right.
A light bulb was never smarter than you.
Well, it is because it can create light and we can't.
No.
So it's
But look at
technically
AI now. AI, if it goes sentient, which it basically starts thinking on its own, it'll destroy you and it'll keep bettering itself. Just think about it. Listen, I like it. I'm not gonna say is it dangerous? Sure. Who's in charge? I don't know. It could alter the way of everything in the world. Yes, because it's just we don't know what it is. It's the atom bomb. Do you drop it? What happens? Do we die?
So
it's a whole. I like it. I use it. I'm
Okay,
utilizing the shit out of it.
So here's what Elon Musk says: the progression of the human race has always been in control of its destiny.
Yes, correct.
Until we created artificial intelligence.
Okay, so
now we don't. No, I agree with you. But
then
all
what are
I'm
you
saying is that if AI replaces, let's say, editors, those editors will then use AI and create another sub job that's within their editing platform and create something else. But that's just the evolution of the job force.
Does it take out 3 editors and replace 3 new jobs, or does it take out 3 editors and replace 1 job?
It creates like, for example, when the light bulb came into play, look at how many workers now were required to create these light bulbs. So it opened up jobs.
But they went from building wax to
now
like
building light bulbs.
But that's a product. There's no more product now. This is like invisible intelligence.
I agree with you. I'm just trying to give you a portal of
no,
hope.
But there's no hope for it.
That's it.
No, but honestly, no. Think about it seriously. Look,
I really have, man.
If it's gonna eliminate. That's why the Pandaverse, the South Park episode, was job with arms, because the clearly AI can do job with arms, so it's not gonna be wrenching a thing, whatever, a faucet and stuff like that. It can't do that unless it builds robots with like.
Steve, I agree with you.
Okay, but that's why they're saying job with arms. So when we go, and I tell Mike this all the time, like, look for the future, man, because ultimately, look, I think services are going to be altered with AI. I think you're going to have these machines that'll do a lot more, be more efficient, more accurate, more predictable, rather than like humans doing them. Like,
So we don't need mathematicians.
And I'll talk about
we don't need mathematicians.
And I'll talk about selling real estate.
So we don't need mathematicians.
No, you don't. Not
Okay,
anymore.
we don't need realtors.
It'll become a thing of the past.
So
Yeah.
what will you do to adapt?
What I said is, if you're building houses, those are job with arms without actually doing the labor. So I still got to manage that. I'll use AI to better that whole situation.
Did you hear what he just said?
But
So
jo-
you
but
get
job-
another job.
But job with arms.
Because he's willing to. Not everyone's willing to.
Oh, okay, but
Job
what I'm
with
saying
arms.
is now you're going to change your perspective of what you've
But
been doing
I'm-
for a living and now adapting.
But if I wasn't thinking, I would say real estate's going to be here forever.
No, that's just illogical thinking.
No, but
That's
no,
narrow-minded
no, it's
thinking.
not.
That's
It's not.
narrow-minded.
That's regular thinking.
No, real estate realtors will not be a job of
But
the
that's
future.
also lawyers. That's like lawyering. That's also
But
accounting.
see, but lawyering, but there's still very particular things that AI won't grasp.
Why?
I don't know. I think as a lawyer, there's still very a personal aspect of things.
What? A lot of that law clerk work that's got to get done. It used to get done. Have you ever dropped in a document into ChatGPT? It'll analyze
many
it.
times.
Yeah, it just summarizes for me. Bing, 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 bing. What do you need a law clerk for? Yeah, you have somebody doing thousands.
Mike, it's a valid point. Okay, Steve, what can I tell you? The only thing I could tell you is if people want to do hate mail, they got to find you somewhere.
No, but I'm saying let's end this off. Let's end this off like at least looking at it like
You
like,
can't end it off as a positive note.
Why?
You can't.
But what's what I'm
There's no
saying,
way.
if you're not figuring out what you're gonna do for the future, don't think your jobs are in like, editing, filming, all this shit. It's like you have to physically do the filming. That can't go unless there's a robot built for that.
Hold on. No, okay. In my industry, I'll tell you what I'm already doing now. I'm saying, all right, AI is slowly, day by day, it's not taking over day by day, it's taking over like 3 days at a time. It's going rapidly quick. So now I'm trying to integrate AI into my system, into my work immediately now. So this way, when the adoption has to happen, I'm already adopted.
It's already you have to adopt now. The adoption
Right.
started a year and a half ago.
And maybe
Yeah,
that's
okay.
why I'm so busy and others in my competitive field are not.
Could be.
Eventually, AI will take over completely. But in my particular industry, you still have to have someone manning that camera.
Yeah.
Because I can't see how AI will ever take that over.
Job with
Say it.
say it.
Arms.
Thank you, son.
Mike, where can they find you? Look right there at the camera.
That was good. You stepped right into
I
that one,
fucking
Steph.
got him.
You
I
fucker.
won that battle. Look at that.
Damn, Steve.
I'm fucking tired too.
1-0 for Steve. I'll be back for you, Steve.
That was
God
good.
damn it.
Mike,
Okay,
right
my
there.
wife's
Where
gonna
can they
kill me
find you?
today.
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram at Mike Gaddy Realtor, and Steve.
Steve?
I'll be available anytime you call me. Just
At Steve Zelenardo on Instagram and Treviso Realty.
we.
We. Wrong country, but we're okay.
But so I think we're gonna even change our Remax name very shortly too. We're gonna adapt. Yeah.
What's
we're
it called?
I
Can
think
we,
we're
can
gonna
we
go
release that?
Treviso North Realty, like so. Remax Treviso North Realty.
Say that again. That was a tongue twister. What's it called?
So we're gonna still be under the Remax brand, but instead of Zelenard and Associates, we're gonna attach a Treviso Realty to it.
So it's going to be called,
Treviso North Realty.
how does the Remax come into it?
It's
Because we're under Remax's
the umbrella.
brand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just the umbrella. But
If
Treviso
you have to
North
drop
Realty.
it later, at least it's already in format.
So when is that going to come into play? That's exciting
I don't know,
news,
we'll see.
man. That's a first on this
Trying to figure it
podcast.
out. Yeah. But it's it's the future because we got Treviso South and now Treviso North, so it'll be
Until the next episode. Until the next plot twist.
sounds like Snoop Dogg's on.
See you later, everyone.
Ciao.
Yeah.